Week 10
We
now
got
that you're
it.
prepared. All right, let's go.
Last Friday, October the 19th, it was Thomas Jefferson 52, Bessemer City 20. It's not the. I think the biggest thing on this game was the point difference of how big Thomas Jefferson ended up winning. It was Cherville over Highland Tech 40-18. Cherville leads the series 14 games to none. It was Mountain Island Charter 47, Pine Lake Prep 0, and Community School of Davison 28, Union Academy 21. In the South Fork Athletic 2A Conference, it was Maiden fell behind 10-0 to East Lincoln, but they come back and win on a last-second field goal towards the end of the game. A 13-10 Maiden pulls a win off there. It was Lincoln and picking up their first win, 27-0 over Lake Norman Charter. It was North Lincoln remaining unbeaten in the conference as they defeat Newton Conover 47-19. Again, margin of victory is what got me there. And it was Bandy's too much for West Lincoln in the second half as they defeat West Lincoln 36-22. Ethan Howard, 24 carries, 182 yards, and 3 touchdowns. In the Southwestern Athletic 2A Conference, it was Shelby 49, East Gaston 0. Shelby starting to roll now, so we'll see how much further they can go, Shannon. They're starting to put it together. It was South Point 49, RS Central 6. East Rutherford 53, Chase 13. In the Northwestern Foothills 2A Conference, West Iredale 30, Bunker Hill 7. Fretty Ford 54, Drone 7. High Brighton 63, East Burke 6. In the Big South 3A Conference, it was Ashbrook losing to Stuart Kramer 21-2. And again, difference in the margin. You scored 2 points. Ashbrook's got a lot of athletes out there on the field to score 2 points. Kings Mountain, again, a difference in a victory, 63-21 over Burns. Burns been putting up a lot of numbers here lately, but Kings Mountain started slow at the start, but then they pulled away. It was Crest 49, North Gaston 0. Hunter Huss 49, Forest View 10. And in the Northwestern 3A, 4A, Alexander Central 28, St. Stephen's 13. Hickory 55, South Caldwell 54. We kept saying, will South Caldwell pull an upset of somebody?
That surprised me.
To jump ahead of McDowell.
Yeah, that score, that surprised me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Hickory be able to shut them out pretty easily.
Freedom 54, West Caldwell 0, and Watauga over McDowell 50-13.
All right, thank you, Terry. And from last week's Northwestern 3A, 4A, we'll start this week in what's probably the conference championship game for that Northwestern 3A, 4A. 8-1 Freedom taking on 9-0 undefeated Watauga. Terry, this is a good one you got up in Boone. Who you picking?
Well, this is a game that you're going to – and it's on artificial turf. And I know Coach Little, coaching Freedom, he says that, I've always looked for a game that I can get my guys built up. He don't want to make it too big of a game because,
You psych yourself out.
You
do.
do.
Too much.
You do to a point, but they have not have not played a game closer than 3 touchdowns since Shelby beat them. So you're talking about a team on a roll. Birchfield, the quarterback, is 131 out of 199, 2,277 yards, 24 touchdowns. He's only thrown 4 interceptions, but he's also rushing the ball 60 times for 360 yards and 12 touchdowns. For Watauga, they got a running game. Bryce Satterfield, 137 carries, 934 yards, 13 touchdowns. Here's the big one. Jaden Bond has 56 carries, 930 yards, 10 touchdowns. And when I think of that, I'm thinking 56 carries. The other guy's has 137. He's got 934. He's got 930.
Yeah.
On the ground.
That's big chunks.
It is. But what a game this ought to be. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I just think Hobbish has done a great job up there, and I think playing at home on artificial turf, this is a big deal, and I'm going to take Watauga to win this one. Do I think it'll be close? I think it's going to be close at the start, but then, which all games are, but Watauga pulls away to win this one 42-27.
To put in some math in there, when you said 56 carries for 934, that is 16.7 yards a carry. That's toting the mail there. You got
yes,
some
it is.
blocking somewhere up front. I agree with everything you said, except I'm gonna pick Freedom because Freedom I think plays well against the run. I think they can stop the run And I just think teams that pass it on them, that's where they have trouble. Their strength is up front. Their strength is with their, I guess you want to say their front 7, front 8 guys. And I think Freedom I think it's going to be like a 28-27 game. But you said Birchfield throwing, that's the main cog for Freedom. But he can spread the ball around. So I think it'll be close. I think Freedom will pull out the victory at Watauga.
All right, now we'll jump from the Northwestern 3A, 4A to the Northwestern Foothills 2A, as Patton will travel down to Bunker Hill. Obviously, Bunker Hill has had their struggles this year. Shannon, you think they pick up a win?
Yeah, I think they do. Bunker, I think, got 2 wins so far.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They've got 2 wins, and whatever they've done here the past couple of weeks has worked. I'd stick with it, obviously. But I think Bunker Hill will win at home, and I'm gonna say probably like a 35-21 type game. So I'm picking Bunker Hill. The Bears. Are they the Bears?
Taking Bunker Hill.
Now 2 weeks ago, I'd no. But, playing Patton. Patton's not much. They don't have much this year.
Patton comes in 5-4, 3-1 in the conference.
But you haven't.
But
played
here's
Bunker Hill.
I'm gonna tell you something that's funny about this, and this is no lie. They have had points scored for them. Now they've scored 152. They gave up 194, but they're 5-4. They've won their last 3 games by scores of 17-7, 29-7, 23-7. So whatever they figured out along the way is working.
Yeah.
Okay.
And tonight it'll happen again. My score for tonight will be Patton 35, Bunker Hill 7.
Terry coming with all the facts right now. Let's jump back into the Northwestern 3A, 4A though, as Hickory will make the trip down to take on Alexander Central. 5-4 Hickory up against 7-2 Alexander Central. Terry, who you got?
Well, you got Hickory going to Alexander Central. If it's playing Hickory, I might give them. Both of these teams are 3-2 in the conference. Big game. Homecoming at Alexander Central is what you're going to have, and they're going for win number 8. I mean, only 2 teams they lost to is 2 teams that's facing up there in Watauga, Freedom and Watauga. But I think Alexander, after last week, bouncing back, getting a victory, it will be a close game, but I got Alexander Central winning this one 33-27.
I agree with the Alexander Central win. Hickory, the last week's score, you let South Caldwell score 54 points against you. Something's wrong. I mean, something's wrong, and Central's going to be a lot better. They're going to have a lot better defense and be better offensively, and I think they will blow Hickory out. And I'm shocked I'm even saying that, but I think it'll be, I'm going to say 42-14 Central win, just because of last week's score with South Caldwell and Hickory. So.
All right, now McDowell traveling down to take on West Caldwell in another conference matchup. Shannon, who you got in that
I'm
one?
going to pick McDowell. West Caldwell's got a lot of problems, a lot of football problems going on, but McDowell, they're just going to use that run game, and I'm sure you may have some running back names, but I'm going to say McDowell's going to win. 49. I'm going to say 49. They're going to pitch a shutout. 49.
Oh, Shannon, let's just talk about the last time you picked 49-0. That was week 1.
Come on.
And listen. It swung the opposite way.
Come on now. What are you
listen, man. I got to bring up the facts. That's all there is to it. Terry, you got.
Well, McDowell is going to West Caldwell. West Caldwell's been outscored this year 503-40. Been shut out 6 times. And, and when you're coming into this week, South Caldwell's sitting back saying, hey, this will be a week that we have an opportunity to pull a win over at our game, which we'll be coming up on it next. Yep. But McDowell at West Caldwell, come on. They're 3-6, 1-4, and this should be a win for McDowell. If you lose here, I mean, this for West Caldwell, they're going to think maybe. Yeah. We haven't scored but 40 all year. This could be the game we can pull, but I don't think it's going to happen. McDowell, I'm going to go 28-7. Over West Caldwell.
All right, Terry, as you mentioned, we'll stay in Caldwell County. St. Stephen's will make the trip over to South Caldwell. Who are you picking in that one?
Here you go. You're going on the road to go to South Caldwell, and I'm going to tell you what. I think South Caldwell's going to win. I think McDowell and South Caldwell both are going to win tonight. And as I'm going to pick South Caldwell, they're 2-7, 1-4, playing a 3-6, 2-3 St. Stephen's team. But I got South Caldwell. They put up 54 last week, and I'm like you, Shannon. You played Hickory. That's really surprising.
Yeah.
If you put up 54 on Hickory, you ought to be able to score against St. Stephen's.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to take South Caldwell. South Caldwell 35, St. Stephen's 24.
I'm going to say 35-14 South Caldwell, just for the fact, again, of last week. I mean, that's surprising. And something's working. They've got the Bunker Hill syndrome. They found something that's worked now, and now they're going to continue doing it. And again, but you talking about South Caldwell and McDowell, they're playing for a playoff now.
Yes, they are.
They got to win out. Either one of them. So.
All right, now we'll move over to East Burke, making the trip down to Fred T. Ford. Shannon, who are you picking in that one?
I'm going to pick Fred T. Ford. Ford's traditionally their offensive line can move the ball. They've got the big guys up front. East Burke just doesn't. They don't wet my whistle, if you want to put it that way. They just do not. They don't have it this year. I'm gonna say 4 to win. I'm gonna say 42-14.
And I'm almost gonna go with you here. I mean, when I sit back, I'm gonna tell you, Fred T. Ford started out 0-4. Yeah. They are 4-5. They are 3-1 in the conference. They could finish second.
Wow. In
this conference, and that's amazing. They've won 4 of their last 5. Their only loss in that bunch was to High Brighton. Well, everybody in this conference loses to High Brighton. So, I mean, it's amazing to me when I look at it, and when you coming in to say 2 weeks before the end and counting tonight, you have Patton, West Iredell, and Fred T. Ford all at 3-1, tied for second in this conference. And I got Fred T. Ford winning this one. I think Coach Miter, what a job he has done to turn this team totally around. I think they're going to go to 5-5 and 4-1 in the conference with a win tonight over East Burke, and I'm thinking it's going to be pretty easy, 42-14.
That's going to be interesting to see that. I know we got one more game in that conference, but that's going to be interesting to see the second place team come out of there. Because Patton and Bunker Hill, they got to win out.
Yeah,
these teams have to win out.
Yeah, they do
to secure themselves a playoff spot.
All right, as you mentioned, Shane, we got one more game up in the mountains as West Iredell will make the trip over to the number 1 ranked 2A team in the state, High Brighton. Terry, who you got in that one?
Well, I'm going to tell you about this number 1 rankings. When you see the new rankings that's come out for Max Preps, and they've taken High Brighton and put them at number 8.
Yeah, I saw that.
That makes no sense to me, and I don't care. Q Tucker, whoever you listening, I hope you are. Those rankings are totally wrong. This team is averaging 57.2 per game. And when I start speaking of points against, they've only gave up 72. Kind of reminds me of Hunter Huss.
Yeah.
That's all Hunter Huss has given up this year. And that's only 8 points a game. So what I expect in this one, I'm going to go with exactly what that says. High Brighton 57, West Iredell 8.
I'm gonna say 56-0. I think they'll pitch a shutout as well. High Brighton's just top to bottom, just better than a lot of teams around here. So it won't be a contest. Yeah, I agree with you about the 8. That's ridiculous. They should be.
That's a shame. That's a shame for me to
You're
even.
undefeated. Come on. Yeah.
And the worst part about that, the lower you come in, I mean, they own so many home games you get, which they're going to get one. But let's say you get one and then you go on the road.
No,
I wouldn't want High Brighton coming to my place.
No. All right, we'll jump now into our areas over in the Southwestern 2A. RS Central making the long trip from Rutherford County all the way over into Mount Holly to take on the East Gaston Warriors. Both of these teams in the bottom half of that conference. Shannon, who are you picking in this one?
I'm going to pick RS Central. I think they can go down to Mount Holly and pull off the win just for the fact they run the spread. East Gaston, a lot of problems. They just cannot.
Yeah.
They cannot.
Just don't have the body.
They don't. They can't defend anything.
Yeah.
And might as well get ready for basketball. But Central, and both of these teams aren't playing for playoffs.
No.
They're done. But I think Central will go down there, and I think they'll win. It'll be like a 28-7 type game.
I think East Gaston will score first. They'll go up, and that'll be the end of it. As RS Central will win this, I think it's going to be close. I don't think RS Central will pull away from them because you're talking about a team that's 1-8. Against a team that's 0-9, so hey, somebody's going to have a good night tonight, and I think it's going to be RS Central, but I think it's going to be like 24-16.
All right, now we'll jump over to Union County as Highland Tech will make the trip from Gastonia to Monroe tonight to take on the Union Academy Cardinals. Highland Tech, guys, we talked about their hot start. Maybe they would get a conference win, and now it's looking less and less likely as the season progresses. Terry, you think the Rams pick up conference win number 2, or what are you feeling on this one?
This is the second meeting between these squads. Union Academy won last year 42-12. If you were playing at Highland Tech, I would take Highland Tech. but you're on the road at Union Academy, and I think Union Academy is going to be a little bit. I think it'd be 42-12. No, I think Union Academy is going to win, but I got them winning 35-21.
Do they play at Union? Where do they play at Union Academy? I mean, where do they have a field? Is that what it is on a football?
On a football field.
My goodness, Shannon,
it's
do you not know?
118 yards long.
They don't play baseball.
53 and a half yards wide.
Baseball. Yeah.
All right, so I'm just thinking because it's Friday night, and all this rain coming in. But
Monroe, Monroe's flat.
Yeah, it's flat. Yeah, here's the thing that maybe we're not thinking about. All the rain coming in here, Island Tech's not going to put it up there. I don't know I don't know what offense Union Academy runs. I don't know if they throw
It's going to rain tomorrow.
If it's going to rain
but
tomorrow.
it is for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was just looking at it thinking, well, I'm going to pick Highland.
All right.
Because I'm all about that wing tee.
No.
I love the wing tee offense. That's just a great offense to run. And you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the fastest. You just got to
commit
3-4 yards. You're gonna score. So I'm gonna say 21-14. Highland Tech picking the Rams.
All right, we'll take that to the commercial. Shannon picking the second conference win ever for the Highland Tech Rams. We'll come back. We'll talk about Cherryville, Prime Lake Prep, Ashbrook, North Gaston, and all the games remaining on our schedule. We'll be right back on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show only on KTC Broadcasting.
For performance you can count on, it's a Bush Hog from West End Sales in Vail. Trust in a Bush Hog, a company whose name has become synonymous with the task. That's performance, that's reputation, that's a Bush Hog. Celebrating 67 years. Come in now for 0% special retail financing for 36 months on select new Bush Hog equipment. Built Bush Hog tough. Yes, for performance you can count on, it's Bush Hog from West End Sales, Highway 18 North at Highway 27 West intersection in Vail. For over 100 years, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home in Falston has been providing services to families of our community with care and compassion. And now the Stamey Funeral Home has added the Cremation Center along with a new name, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center. The Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center on Highway 182 in Falston, and the Stamey Funeral Home in Cherryville, located on Dixie Street in Cherryville, serving you with care and compassion in your time of need. Bill Shuford Heating and Air and American Standard presents the American Standard Set the Standard event. Now through November 30th, get up to $1,000 in discounts on qualifying American Standard equipment, or get 0% APR financing with 60 equal monthly payments, plus many more special Set the Standard event offers. See Bill Shuford Heating and Air for all the details. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby. Call 704-484-0025.
It's the Lincoln County Apple Festival this Saturday, October 27th in downtown Lincoln. It runs from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. Come join the thousands and help celebrate. Tune to the Boss 107.5 FM and 1050 AM WLON for live radio reports with Tim Johnson and Ken Link. Our reports are being brought to you by the Owl's Nest Antiques on East Main Street in Lincoln, by Russo's Tinning in the Denver Industrial Park in Denver, by Lincoln Pawn and Jewelry on East Main Street in Lincoln, by Peak Motors on East Main Street, Lincoln, by The Shop Incorporated on Marys Grove Road, Cherryville, by The Meeting Place in downtown Lincoln, by Magic's Motorsports on East Main Street in Lincoln, by West End Sales with Blackjack Mowers on Highway 18 North in Vail, by Lincoln Animal Hospital in Lincoln, by Mr. Shine Detailing of Lincoln, and by Max's Auto Service and Repair on North Aspen Street in Lincoln. So plan now to be there for this year's Lincoln County Apple Festival this Saturday, October 27th from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. in downtown Lincoln.
You know, facts just don't lie. And here are the facts about Fastway Oil Change in Shelby. Fact number 1, Fastway Oil Change has been in business for over 28 years. Fact number 2, the employees at Fastway Oil Change have over 98 years of combined experience. And fact number 3, in those 28 years, over 500,000 customers have been served. Those are the facts. Find out why people keep coming back to Fastway Oil Change. Fastway Oil Change, 630 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Let Fastway Oil Change do the dirty work for you.
If you're not bundling your insurance with Allstate, you might have fear of missing out, or FOMO.
You're too old to say FOMO.
But people who don't bundle their auto and home with Allstate...
No, FOMO's about fun stuff, not insurance.
But what if people use the money they save to pay for that fun stuff?
Okay, fine.
Your local Allstate agent is Damon Scott. Give him a call at 704-484-3463.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Once upon a time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Huzzah! Saturdays and Sundays, September 29th through November 18th. Presented by Pepsi. Endless entertainments.
Jousting night. Men in tights. Oh my.
New sea fairies. The living mermaids. Magic and merriment.
Come to the Renaissance Festival.
Saturdays and Sundays, September 29th through November 18th. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, a giant crafts market, jousting nights, and a feast, all rolled into a non-stop great family adventure.
The festival is so awesome.
Discount tickets at Hedis Tita stores or print your own online at renfestinfo.com. Renaissance Festival, here I come.
Attention diabetics. Did you know Medical Arts Pharmacy in Shelby has diabetic shoes? Medical Arts has name brand diabetic footwear for men and women in dress and casual styles. Proper fit in footwear is especially important for diabetics, and Medical Arts has trained associates to fit you properly. Cleveland County's largest and most complete selection of home health equipment and supplies is found at Medical Arts Pharmacy, 704-487-8068. Medical Arts Pharmacy, 108 Grover Street near the hospital in Shelby.
Check out the great rates at Pine Mountain Golf Course. Play and ride weekdays for only $21. Seniors play and ride weekends for just $18. Or you can play and ride all day weekdays for only $28. Seniors can play and ride all day on weekends for $25. Make your tee time today by calling 828-433-4950. You'll love this challenging 18-hole par 68 course. The Pine Mountain Golf Course, adjacent to South Mountain State Park. Again, call 828-433-4950 for your tee time.
For the first time in over 60 years this week, WLON Radio will not be broadcasting a local Lincoln County high school football game. Not by our choice, but by the choice of local school officials. We had planned to broadcast this week's North Lincoln-Lincolning game, but Lincoln and high school officials said they decided to let another non-radio entity, assisted by Lincoln and high school students, broadcast the game instead of WLON. We offered to do the same and allow the Lincoln and students to help with our broadcast, but we were rejected. We have had many interns come through our station over the years, and some of which we have hired. So instead of bringing you the North Lincoln-Lincolning game tonight, we'll be bringing you the Shelby-East Rutherford game on WLON. To voice your concerns, you may contact the Lincoln County School Office at 704-732-2261 or Lincoln and High School at 704-735-3089. Stay tuned after the games tonight for all the scores. But more than anything, go out and support your local high school student athlete.
Welcome back inside the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. We are in here already into this Max Grill. I got grilled chicken. Terry got
hamburger steak, some tater tots, and I'm going to tell you what, it is good.
That hamburger steak looks real good, Terry. Normally, I'll be honest, I haven't had a hamburger steak in a long time, but that makes me want a hamburger steak.
Yeah, it is good. I'm telling you, if you ever want something, get a hamburger steak, and you can get fries, tater tots, whatever you want, onion rings. I'll tell you what, I've had all three since they've been helping us out, and it is good. I even daggum stop by and spend my own money on some days because of it's good.
Yeah. Well, me and Shannon both got the grilled chicken. I mean, I don't know what they do to this grilled chicken. I need to find out.
No, that's for real.
I mean, I need to find out for myself because I don't live in Cherryville, and it's good, and I would just like to, maybe cook it at my house myself. I'll go in and slide them an extra $5 and be like, hey, come on, man, tell me your secret. What are you doing with this? It's real good. Go check out Max Grill, right off 150 in the Food Line Shopping Center here in Cherryville. But, guys, let's get back into football, and we'll start in the Southern Piedmont 1A as Cherryville will make the trip up to Mooresville right off 115 up there to take on Pine Lake Prep. And Cherryville coming off back-to-back wins over Highland Tech and Community School of Davidson. Or, no, not Community School of Davidson. Either way, back-to-back wins for the Ironmen. They're taking on the Pride. Terry, who are you picking in this one?
Coach Pruitt, again, as we set back every year, Cherryville, to me, vastly improves.
Yeah.
This year, 5-4, 2-3 in the conference. Could go to 6-4, 3-3 with a win, but it's on the road. It's at Pine Lake. Cherryville leads this all-time series 4-2. Cherryville won the first 3. Pine Tech won the last 2. Well, 2 after that. Yeah, Pine Lake. And then Cherryville won the last one last year, 27-7. I'm going to pick Cherryville. I think Coach Pruitt on the road is going to pull a win off here. Pine Lake Prep 4-5, 1-4. Can he win? Cherryville impressed me last week by being a little bit behind, but then they opened up the game and they spread the game. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you know, it went from being like a 3 or 4 point game to like a 14, 15 point game.
Yeah.
And they got good halftime adjustments that they're doing there. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take Cherryville. I'm going to take Cherryville 33, Pine Lake Prep 21.
I agree with you. I think Cherryville. The only thing that concerns is tomorrow night. You know, what's it going to do weather-wise?
Yeah, that's true.
So, but Cherryville, yeah, they're on a roll. I think they're not the bottom feeder team they've traditionally been. You know, when you think about Cherryville and football. I think Coach Pruitt's doing a great job. He's got these guys believing. They've bought into his system. And, I mean, they're getting ready for the playoffs. I mean, they are. Now, Pine Lake Prep, on the other hand, I think, does all 1A make the playoffs still? Is that how it works?
No, not all of them.
No, not all.
Okay. So, Pine Lake, they're kind of that bubble team right now to me. So, Cherryville has, you know, keep foot on the gas, keep going. I'm going to say they're going to win 35-14 tomorrow.
You know, the thing that bothers me when you think of 1A, and I remember a few years back, maybe just a couple years, that Cherryville had to go to Whiteville.
Yeah.
Then the very next week, Bessemer City had to go to Whiteville.
Yeah.
You know, this is a time for, I think, when Max Preps is doing all this stuff, that their figures are correct, that somebody has to come this way. I mean, you know, I think their records are going to be
send
good.
Somebody as far east as Whiteville.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a long way to go.
Yeah, it is.
But anyway, I just think that when they just look at the diagrams and put it out, give the team with the best records. If Cherryville finishes out unbeaten, and that's a win over Bessemer City, you're talking about 7-4, 4-3 in the conference. Somebody needs to come here and play.
You're right.
Well, that one will be on WCSL tomorrow night. WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, and KTCBroadcasting.com. Milton Baker, Danny Aker on the call for the Cherryville Ironmen at the Pine Lake Prep Pride. And now we'll jump into Gaston County over in Dallas as Ashbrook will take the drive from New Hope Road over into Dallas to take on the North Gaston Wildcats. And Ashbrook was a team that, you know, started hot, and so did North Gaston, but both of these teams have sort of fallen off as of late. Similar play styles, too. Both run-heavy teams. Shannon, who are you picking in this one?
Yeah, they're both going to run that you know, South Point offense.
Yeah, well, you've got two, Weinberger disciples in Patton and Andrews.
Right, so I think Ashbrook's going to win, but what concerns me is 2 points last week. You know, you got two off of safety, you know, and but I agree with you. They've got the athletes, but they, you know, this is a game they need. This is a game, okay, we got to finish strong. But I think they will go to Dallas and maybe not right the ship, but they will do something. They'll
come out with a win.
Come out with a win. That's better. And I'm going to say it's going to be, you know, I'm going to say 21-14. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think they will. I think they'll pull ahead. North Gaston just by losing McNeil. Is that who they lost?
McNeil,
So they're just now one-dimensional. So if Ashbrook stops him, they can win. So.
Okay. When they lost McNeil, I know they lost a lot. And I know Ashbrook only scored 2 points last week, was playing pretty stout competition. So tonight, North Gaston, guys, and don't ever take us wrong on a lot of things, because we pull for all student athletes here, no matter who you play. We know you go through the same rigmarole as if you went 0-11 or 11-0. I mean, you know, it's the same grind that every other team does. But Ashbrook's going to have too much tonight. I got Ashbrook 42, North Gaston 7.
All right, we'll bring it up into Lincoln County now. As North Lincoln will take the short drive, couple exits down 321 from Pumpkin Center and down into town into Lincolnton. And Coach Basil has Terry. I mean, what more can you say about this guy? What he's done? They're undefeated in conference after a little bit of a sluggish start. Lincolnton, obviously, a very disappointing year for the Wolves. Who are you picking in this one?
Well, it's one of them games, and you know North Lincoln's light coming to Lincoln. If they know Lincoln's having a real bad year, plus they've had a little bit of turmoil on the team. Yeah. Lincoln leads this all-time series 12-2. And when I go back in 2006, they beat them 14-0. And then in 2014, they come away with a 26-13 win over Lincoln. But that's the only 2 victories they got. The rest of the victories, Lincoln has put up tons of numbers, 62, 63, 56, 49, etc. in the victories. But tonight, I think they're going to reverse this. I think North Lincoln last week impressed me against Newton Conover, how they opened that game 47-19. Tonight, this could be one of them games, and I got North Lincoln winning this one tonight, 52-10.
Oh, wow. I agree North Lincoln's going to win. Basil is just – he's like the defensive guru. I mean, the game plan. He can put it together. And North Lincoln's obviously moving in the right direction. Lincoln's, they're struggling with a lot of things. But I think North Lincoln can come into Lincoln, and I'm going to say 49-14. I think I only scored twice, but yeah, North Lincoln, they may be the hottest team around here.
They really are.
I mean, as far as where they started to where they are now, so.
I want to mention one thing, too. Some people kind of sat back and said this team now is better without players. And that's how I'm going to put it. Because they almost beat West Lincoln. Okay. Almost beat West Lincoln, lost 20-14, and then last week they beat Lake Norman Charter, which everybody's been beating Lake Norman Charter. But they said that the defensive-wise, they've got better. So if that's the case, we'll see it tonight. If not, I just think North Lincoln pulls away.
Yeah. All right, now we got a cross-county matchup as East Lincoln will make the trip from Denver over to Vail to take on the West Lincoln Rebels. And, these are two teams, East Lincoln maybe has a little bit more recent success, overall success, but West Lincoln's probably having one of their best years in school history. Shannon, who are you picking in this one?
I'm picking West Lincoln in this one. East Lincoln is Lubowitz he's there, and they got a good defense, but it's just how many times are we going to say that? You got to put some points on the board. And West Lincoln, I know they lost last week. They played the best team in the conference. They got Bandies, but I think they probably made them mad a little bit and say, wait a minute, people say we were good, we are good, and they're going to get back on track tonight. And I think they'll play it at home, and I think they'll come out on top. I'm going to say a 35-14 game. I think they'll destroy East Lincoln.
I'm also East Lincoln leads this all-time series 36-14-1. First game was played back in 1967. West Lincoln won that game 32-0. East Lincoln's first win come in 1968. The very next year, 16-14. West Lincoln has lost 13 straight to East Lincoln. The last win was in 2004 before Mike Bias ever arrived at East Lincoln. Coach Sane comes in here 0-8 against East Lincoln. I mean, there's so many things, that West Lincoln has stopped this year. They stopped the run that Maiden had. They stopped the run that Lincoln had. And I think last week, if it wasn't for homecoming week, I think that totally kind of
talked about that a lot,
and I just think that totally messes the kids up sometimes. But they put a great effort out there at the start, and then Bandies is tough. They'll flat out tell you they're very strong up front, and Howard's a man to stop. But tonight, I think last year they had East Lincoln beat at halftime. They went at halftime. Lubowitz made a couple of differences. Instead of going down sideline, he started crossing in the middle. So West Lincoln's looked at all that stuff that they done. But I'm going to take West Lincoln for Coach Sane to get his first victory of them and stop another streak. West Lincoln 28, East Lincoln 21.
I jump back down into Gaston County and in the Southern Piedmont 1A as the Community School of Davidson will travel to take on the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets. Bessemer City fresh off their first conference loss of the season last week. And Shannon, do you think they bounce back?
Bessemer City will win. Philip Russ at the helm on that line. You gotta
watch out, Coach
that.
Boone. Don't forget Boone.
But Community School. I think both these teams are similar in where they are now as far as this year goes. Obviously, they're middle of the road, but I think Bessemer's just going to be too strong. Maybe have one or two more athletes, but too strong up front, and say, okay, it's time. We're getting ready for playoffs. I mean, because they're looking now. I mean, you got to say, and both of them are, but I think they're going to playing at home. I don't think Community School of Davis is going to have enough talent to compete with them, and I'm going to say it's going to be a 28-7 game, Bessemer.
And I'm also going to go along with you. Community School of Davidson on the road at Bessemer City. I got Bessemer City's 4-1 series lead in this. They won the first two, then they lost in 2015. They won the last two. But the last 2 years, they beat them like 58-21 and 60-15 last year, Bessemer City. And I think Bessemer City's going to do that again. I'm going to open the score a little bit. I'm going to say Bessemer City 42, Community School of Davison 14.
All right, we'll go back from Gaston County back up into Catawba County as Lake Norman Charter, fresh off that shutout loss last week to Lincolnton, facing off against one of two undefeated teams left in conference up there in the South Fork 2A, the Bandy's Trojans. Terry, you think Bandy stays in line for a conference championship matchup next week with North Lincoln?
Well, this is only second meeting between these schools. Bandy's won last year 42-16. Ethan Howard needs 434 yards, Lake Norman Charter, to move ahead in Bandy's all-time rushing total list. He might get that tonight, but he will be hard to stop. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm not gonna put things aside. If he comes up with 300 yards, it would not surprise me.
No, yeah.
I mean, he had 182 against West Lincoln. Again, Ethan Howard needs 434 yards to break Chris Spade's all-time rushing leader of 4,047. He comes in tonight with 36-13 yards. Bandits is very strong, and they're going to run the ball, and they're going to take time off the clock, and that's what hurt West Lincoln last week in the fourth quarter when they're trying to get them off the field, and all of a sudden they got like a 5 minutes and 56-second drive, to put the game away. Lake Norman Charter, if you get the ball, keep it, because Bandy's going to keep it forever. But this is not going to be easy to see. I got Bandy's 49, Lake Norman Charter 0.
56-0 Bandy's. It's like, it's not even going to be a contest.
Yeah.
It's it'll be, and I hope they win because I do want to see them undefeated next week against North Lincoln. That'll be a great ball game.
You're exactly right. All right, now we'll jump from one heavy running team to another. Bandy's to South Point as Chase will make the trip from Rutherford County over to Belmont. The Trojans, down year, but how often do we say that about Chase? And South Point sort of, it seems like, every other year we've talked about how good South Point is. South Point's still good. They're number, 5 in our power poll. South Point, you hate to quote that famous saying down there, but tradition never graduates, and it looks like that's going to be the course again down there at South Point. Terry, I think you're picking the Red Raiders, I'm guessing.
South Point leads this series 15-6. This series started in 1969. Chase's last victory come in 1986, a 20-6 win. Again, 1986, it kind of reminds you of some other series that we've been talking about. One of the wins for Chase was a forfeit win back in 1985, so if you take the 6 wins, one of them was a forfeit. Tonight, you're going to Belmont, and they're going to punish you. They're going to punish you, and they're going to keep the clock, and they're going to run points up, and this is not even going to be close. South Point's going to win game number 8 on the year. We talked about last week, 10 win seasons for South Point. This is going to be number 8, and they're going to set up that matchup next week with Shelby. But this one is not even going to be funny. 57-6, South Point.
Yeah. I think you don't want to, when you talk about that game next week, maybe South Point's going to look ahead. I don't think it matters.
No.
They could not even. They can send the JVs out there this week. It's of course Mickey Lineberger, their coach, who retired. He started at Chase. That's where his first coaching job was. So, but South Point's got their quarterback back. He's healthy, and they're just going to now start the roll. And I would, 49-0. 49's, it don't matter. 2-0. 2-0. Jason, I don't think he's going to score.
All right, well, we'll jump back from Southwestern 2A into the Southern Piedmont 1A. We've got a good one here. These are two teams both of you guys like a lot, I know. Thomas Jefferson coming down from Mooresboro into Mount Holly to take on the Mountain Island Charter School Raptors. This is, outside of probably North Lincoln Bandies, this is probably the two best teams in any two conferences that are going to be facing off over the next couple weeks. Shannon, I know how much you like Thomas Jefferson. You think they roll over the Raptors?
Oof. I don't know. It's weird about this because, living in Cleveland County, go on church on Sunday, people's talking about either Shelby or Crest Burns. That's the 3 teams. This Sunday, you had people in there talking about Thomas Jefferson. We got some guys that their kids go to Thomas Jefferson, and they're talking Thomas Jefferson football, and it's like, what? But yeah, McMullen's at quarterback versus Burris at running back for Mountain Island Charter. As much as I like Thomas Jefferson, I'm picking Mountain Island Charter. I think, but we've said it here as, talking about the ranking system, who is built to go further, and it's Mountain Island Charter. They're going to pound Burris up against that defense, and I think Mountain Island's got the athletes and the skill positions to stop McMullen's. So I'm going to say Mountain Island Charter 35, Thomas Jefferson 21.
Whoa. Thomas Jefferson says that they're here to win another championship. Tonight they go on the road to Mountain Island. This is how you do it.
Yeah, you got to.
Thomas Jefferson went on the road to North Lincoln.
Yeah.
Come away with a victory down there. So here they are again making another road. They got to put themselves in position to do that, and going on the road winning, that proves that they can do some things maybe in the playoff that we're thinking they cannot. And I know me and you both sat back and say that we think Mountain Island Charter will go further in the playoff part of it. But I think tonight's going to be Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson leads this series 3-1. They won in 2015 and 16, lost in 2016, and it was a playoff game in 2016. But then they come back to win in 2017, 34-16 last year. And we talk about Elijah Burris. What a man. 23-13, fifth in the nation in rushing. Wow. So, I mean, you know, that's very high praise for a young guy. But I think Thomas Jefferson is going to have too much through the air for Mountain Island Charter to handle tonight. And 52-20 last week over Bessemer City, that kind of shoved me a little bit more towards Thomas Jefferson tonight. And I'm taking Thomas Jefferson tonight 42-28.
All right, guys, we've got 4 games left, but I want to say, I think we'll go ahead and we'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show, only on KTC Broadcasting.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with Chris Jansen, who's nominated for 3 CMA awards.
I'd never been nominated for a CMA, first of all, and it's pretty awesome, and hopefully we'll be able to take a trophy home. But either way, I already feel like we won because getting nominated is a big deal.
That's Chris Jansen this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Say, kids, what time is it?
This is the 60s.
Hey, J.J. Wilson here, reminding you to tune in this weekend for This is the 60s, featuring the best music from the best decade and so much more. There's 60s television, movies, news, pop culture, trivia, novelty songs, interviews, deep cuts, and a whole lot more. It's peace, love, and rock and roll on This is the 60s.
This is the 60s, Friday mornings from 10 a.m. till 12 noon on The Boss, WHS, AM and FM in Shelby, WLON in Lincoln. Call Neelan Cole Termite and Pest Control for all of your pest control needs at 1-866-990-0004 or go see them at the main branch in Boiling Springs. Neelan Cole has been voted the best of Cleveland County 7 years in a row, offering termite control and termite damage repairs, pest control, mosquito and fire ants control, mold and mildew remediation, and encapsulated crawl space. They also specialize in moisture control and waterproofing along with repairs. Check out the website at NeelanCole.com.
Isolated and alone?
That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
Get a free pumpkin at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. What did I say? That's right. Get a free pumpkin October 22nd through October 31st when you take a test drive at Renato Auto Mall. Test drive a Honda, get a free pumpkin. Test drive a Kia, get a free pumpkin. Test drive a GMC, get a free pumpkin. Test drive a Buick, get a free pumpkin. Test drive a pre-owned vehicle and get a free pumpkin October 22nd through October 31st only at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, online at RenatoAutomall.com. And happy Halloween from Renato Auto Mall. At Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville, they treat you like family because you are. Making the most of your money starts by managing and growing your money. Come by Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville and learn how you can protect your money and actions you can take. Plus, they can provide you with hints and tips. Learn more by visiting their website at carolinafcu.org or drop by their office at 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville. Become part of their family today. Make your business or office a Boss or Carolina Country listener post. All you have to do is tune your radio in your business or office to 101.5 FM, 107.5 FM, or 92.3 FM. Let us know, and we'll put your name on the radio. And each month we'll have a drawing from our area listening post for a dozen breakfast biscuits from the Creekside Clock Restaurant in Shelby, along with coffee or tea. Area listener posts include Shelby Hardware, Hendrick Appliance, Sism & Sons Paint and Body Shop, Cleveland Lumber Company, TSB Auto Trim, Witherspoon Insurance Agency, Blanton Cars East, Numbers Etc., McKinney Woodcrafts, Promotion Motors, Cherryville Signs and Graphics, Reed Lindsay State Farm Insurance, Lowe's of Lincoln, Buffalo Creek Gallery, Arnold's Jewelry, Whaley Carpet and Tile, RD Mattress Center, Sandy's Country Christmas, and Cantrell and Melton Barber Shop. So make your business or office a Boss or Carolina Country listening post today. For the first time in over 60 years this week, WLON Radio will not be broadcasting a local Lincoln County high school football game. Not by our choice, but by the choice of local school officials. We had planned to broadcast this week's North Lincoln game, but Lincoln and high school officials said they decided to let another non-radio entity, assisted by Lincoln and high school students, broadcast the game instead of WLON. We offered to do the same and allow the Lincoln and students to help with our broadcast, but we were rejected. We have had many interns come through our station over the years, and some of which we have hired. So instead of bringing you the North Lincoln game tonight, we'll be bringing you the Shelby East Rutherford game on WLON. To voice your concerns, you may contact the Lincoln County School Office at 704-732-2261 or Lincoln and High School at 704-735-3089. Stay tuned after the games tonight for all the scores. But more than anything, go out and support your local high school student athlete.
You hear them pads going click, 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 click. You hear them clicks going 704 beats by Alex.
Welcome back to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. I still have half a mouthful of Max Grill grilled chicken. I mean, I almost hate coming back from commercial because I just want to keep eating, Terry. I really do.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean,
My goodness,
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's better on Thursdays. I swear it tastes better. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just Thursday night. The atmosphere. I don't know, man. It's
maybe
something.
we haven't fulfilled our body all week, and Thursday we're getting to that point, and it's really good to finish it off. Maybe that's what it is.
I think you're right, Terry. I think you're exactly right. All right, let's jump back into football. We'll start in the Big South 3A. Tonight we'll have a special broadcast. You'll be able to listen to it live on WCSL 1590 AM 92.3 FM and watch on the WOHS YouTube channel. Ken Link and Tim Johnson on the call for Kings Mountain at Forest View. Kings Mountain took a couple of losses in the middle of the season, but the Mountaineers look like they've bounced back and are getting ready, getting full steam, getting Rakalen Mack back into the fold. Obviously, you still got Kalen Wade. You've got Kobe Paysauer out on the outside, and Forest View, a team that you've said it a lot, Shannon. They're not bad by any means. They face tough competition week in and week out. Coach Medlin down there he's probably as good as any coach around here, but it's like to say it's just tough sledding this over this year. And Forest View, not a slouch, but Kings Mountain probably the favorite. What do you think, Shannon?
Yeah, Kings Mountain will win this one. Again, big win last week for them. They're looking for that game next week, obviously. But again, when you start looking ahead, and Forest View's that type of team, they're not great, but they're not bad. But Kings Mountain, I think, is going to be too physical up front. As you mentioned already, those three guys before, Wade, Mack, and Paysauer. They're going to be that's the X factors for this game. And Forest View's not going to have anybody to stop, especially Paysauer on the outside. They're not. I could see him getting at least 250 yards, 250 yards receiving. So I'm going to say 63 to 14. I think it's going to be the same type. They're just going to keep foot on the gas, looking forward next week.
Playing at Forest View, Kings Mountain tries to even this series up tonight at 11-11. Forest View does lead the series 11-10. They played way back, and first game was in 1999. Forest View won 20-15. They've had two overtimes games that they have played against each other, so Forest View never wants to see overtimes because Kings Mountain won both of those games in 2000, 28-27, and 2005, 44-37. What do I think tonight? Well, I'm going to be right with Shannon. I don't think that Forest View can have enough people out there to stop what Kings Mountain got. And you got to go through this a lot. You know, Forest View's had their opportunities to beat Kings Mountain, but Kings Mountain to win tonight. And I'm going to be about like him. It's going to be pretty easy, 55-14.
Take it over into Boiling Springs now as we've got Lawndale versus Boiling Springs, Burns at Crest. You'll have two different feeds on that one. You'll have, obviously, the Crest Chargers with Andy Foster, Tim Foster, and Rob Roop. That pregame starting tonight at 6:30. You can listen on WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM, as well as watch on the Crest Chargers YouTube channel. And for the Bourbons Bulldogs, you've got Tom Sinafani and Matt Royster on the call. You can watch on the Bourbons Bulldog YouTube channel as well as listen on the airwaves as well. And you guys, Burns is a team that's pulled off some upsets this year. Crest is a team that's outside of the losses to Weddington and Huss. They've looked really strong as well. Where are you going on this one, Mr. Cleveland County, Shannon Allen?
You know, if start off the bat, let's just put it that way. You got to see Kewan Pryor play.
Yeah, you have to.
This kid's the most dynamic player probably in the county, maybe Western North Carolina. I mean, he's going to get 200 yards rushing, it seems like, every week. And you would think, if you look at his numbers, you think, wow, Burns is undefeated.
Yeah.
But they're playing a team tonight with Crest. Offensively, and that's going to sound crazy, Terry. Offensively, I think Burns is better than Crest as far as moving the ball.
I agree.
Okay, but now defensively, Crest is up here, Burns is down here. I mean, it's just Crest. I think they're going to just, for the simple fact, defensively, they're going to be able to stop. Maybe not stop Pryor, but they're going to be able to stop their offense. And just like teams have done in the past, you hadn't stopped Pryor, but you stopped Burns from putting it in the end zone.
Yeah.
You know, Pryor can get all he wants from 20 to 20, but you got to get in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Crest is going to win this one at home. It'll be a big rivalry game, obviously a big county game, and I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be by many. I think it's going to be like a 28-14 type game because I do not see Crest. And they could score 50, but they just don't have that team that can put the ball in the end zone. What's the word I'm looking for? Not traditionally, but they just can't seem to be able to do it week in and week out.
Consistently,
there it is. I mean, they can win, but you know, it won't be a blowout. I don't think. That was a mouthful. But yeah.
They've been playing each other since 1967. 51 meetings in this series. Crest leads at 39-12. Some people call it a rivalry. I do not. We've had one tie back in 1976. Burns won at 13, Crest 13. One overtime game in 2007. Crest won that one 12-9. Crest's longest streak was from 1999 through 2010, 12 games. Burns' longest streak, 1979 through 1981, 3 games. And when I look back at this, I mean, 18 out of the last 19 years, Crest has won. They've totally dominated this series. The only win come from 2011. Burns win 33-12. And I'm with you. I think Crest defense is going to make I just think they're going to be too hard for Burns to score. And then, hey, we might turn around and Burns knocks them off like they did Shelby.
Yeah.
But in a big game for both teams tonight. But I'm like you. Chris is just too strong. I don't think I'm also like you. Also, and that's bad for me to keep saying. I don't think Chris can. Yeah, Chris can score enough points to put the game away, and that's what I'm scared of here. But I'm going to go with 28, just like you did, and I'm going to go with Burns 17.
Yeah. Let me say this too. You know, yesterday Burns Middle defeated Shelby Middle to get to the championship game for the Tri-County Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Burns Middle's team, Burns Middle, their football team, they have some good-looking athletes coming up. Now, if they all can stay at Burns, we'll just leave that right there where it is. But if they can, stay within the Burns system, Burns is going to be pretty good within the next few years. I mean, I know, and they're not losing nobody next year as far as this team goes now. So next year they're going to have the same group back, and so future's bright for Burns. I know they're not winning much now, but they've got to win this week, and they've got North Gaston next week. They've got to win one of them to have a chance to get in the playoffs. They win both of them, they're in. So you never know.
All right, now we'll jump over to the little gray area between Belmont and Cramerton as the Stuart Kramer Storm will host the undefeated Hunter Huss Huskies. And you guys, if you ask me, this is the trap game of all trap games. Huss has got Ashbrook next week. Kramer, It's on a 3-game winning streak. Gave up only 2 points on a safety last week to Ashbrook. I mean, Terry, you think Huss stays undefeated, or you think maybe they're thinking ahead to Ashbrook next week?
You know, Stuart Kramer, here we are again. I don't know why we keep saying this year and out. Show me something. Yeah. Stuart Kramer comes in here 6-3, 3-2. Hunter Huss 9-0, chasing that 1976 team who finished 10-1, but they lost the first round. They want to go further than that. So they could finish out this year 11-0 and beat that record already. Mm-hmm. But Hunter Huss leads the series 3-1. Last year, Stuart Kramer won. That's what's scary. Stuart Kramer won last year. That was a game that
Huss gave away.
Yeah, 21-14 in overtime. Yeah. But I keep going back to defense. Defense wins you championships. I don't care where you're playing. And I saw Stuart Kramer let Burns score tons against them. Yeah. You know, but then I also Stuart Kramer scoring tons of points themselves in that game. So what do I expect tonight? I expect Hunter Huss's defense to be a little bit too much, player for player. And Hunter Huss is going to go on the road and go to 10-0, matching that 1976 team. Hunter Huss 35, Stuart Kramer 20.
I'm going to agree with you, Huss will win, but what scares me about Huss, I'm going to say 42-14, but what scares me about Huss is that they haven't faced adversity this year.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And
I mean, that Crest game is really about as close as it gets, but that wasn't. I mean, it's close on the scoreboard, but a lot of people there. I mean, it just didn't feel that.
Right.
They got a bonus out of that game, really, because when you're up 7-0, and all of a sudden they give you the ball at the 1.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and you make it 14-0. So that really helped in that game.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't, and I agree. I mean, that was the closest game, but there's no adversity. There's no coming back.
Yeah.
There's no having to fight down 10 points. You got to score at least twice.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing like that. For this Huss team, that would be my only concern, them going forward, especially in the playoffs. Yeah, they're going to win tonight. They're playing Ashbrook next week. They'll probably win that one. But when you get to the playoffs, that's what's going to scare me. Go ahead.
Has Huss been behind?
I want to think in the first game. I want to think against either Patton or Cox Mill. Maybe even Clover, they might have trailed at some point.
Okay.
But, I mean, that Cox Mill game, I think, was 28-21. That was probably really their most competitive game. That Clover game wasn't as close or really as
contested. But they were behind in the fourth quarter. We got to score to win.
Yeah.
That would be a little shaky for me.
You know, I mean, every time I think about that, I still remember the Shelby squad a few years back that won their last title. Never trailed at all. And I don't care who you are. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That is.
All right, we'll wrap up our games or our this week's action as we'll move into Rutherford County as Shelby takes on the high-powered East Rutherford offense. You'll be able to listen to this one on WLON 1050 AM, 107.5 FM. Brent Pasco and Jeff Jones on the call. You'll be able to watch it also on the Shelby Golden Lions YouTube channel. And you guys, I mean, you talk about that Southwestern 2A. There's 3 teams that are, well, it's the top half of that conference, and then there's everybody else. You've got Shelby, East Rutherford, and South Point. 3 teams that are basically, I mean, I would say just about as good as each other, but they play very different styles of football. But before we talk anymore, Terry, who are you picking in this one?
Well, this is a series I went back and did a little info. They played way back in 1928 under Forest City at that time, and then they become East Rutherford later. But Shelby leads this series 28-21-1. The last win for East Rutherford was back in 2005, 23-21. But it's a series that we talk about streaks. Shelby's won the last 13 against them, and I keep looking at this thing, and I'm like you. East Rutherford's playing at home. If East Rutherford would pull off a victory and then Shelby goes to South Point, we end up with a 3-way tie for the title, you know. And because I know we sat back when South Point played East Rutherford, and I thought maybe if that game had been earlier in the year, East Rutherford might have won that game. But you let South Point have a few games and learn their self, and they win that game. But on the road, this is when things can happen. Do I think Shelby's defense is good? But can they stop an East Rutherford team with a lot of speed? And I'm going to give Lance Ware the nod on this one. I think it's going to be close. Shelby 26, East Rutherford 24.
And I agree with you there. Past 4 games, Shelby's put together. They've had to work on things, and they've had to ensure some things right, make sure some things are right, and they've built confidence. They've got a little. and I know they haven't played the best teams, but they've got a little swagger, confidence. That breeds champion, that breeds winning, and winning breeds confidence. Excuse me. So tonight, East Rutherford, offensively, I think they'll put points on the board, but Shelby's offense versus their defense. That's going to be the key. I mean, because you mentioned Shelby's defense is good.
Yeah.
East Rutherford's offense is good. But now let's flip it. Now how good Shelby's offense is going to be at the East Rutherford defense that has consistently all year been giving up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Nothing's been. They haven't they haven't cut that down any. And I think it's going to be. I think Shelby win 35-21. I mean, it's just hard. East Rutherford, they could blow them out, but just won the last 13. The last time East Rutherford beat Shelby, I think, was at Shelby in the last game of the conference. They were in, and then Shelby came out in the playoffs and beat them in overtime.
Yeah.
Then they went on to Pisgah and played them. So that, to me, anything can happen in this series, but at any given night. But I think Shelby's moving forward. I think East Rutherford, I don't want to say they peaked, but I think they've hit it, and they're not really – nothing's really wavering. They're not getting better defensively.
Plateaued.
Yeah. Anyway,
they're up there.
They're up there. So, but Terry, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a close game. But if one team gets ahead by 2 scores, it's over.
It's over. I agree.
All right, let me go over our broadcasting schedule tonight and tomorrow one more time. Tonight at 6:30, you'll have the Crest Chargers pregame underway with Andy Foster, Tim Foster, and Rob Roop. You will be able to watch that one on the Crest Chargers YouTube channel and listen on WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM. Kings Mountain at Forest View tonight on WCSL with Ken Link and Tim Johnson on the call. Hunter Yancey behind the lens. You'll be able to watch that one on the WOHS YouTube channel and listen live on WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 FM. For the Burns side of that Burns-Crest matchup, you will be listening to Tom Sinafani and Matt Royster on the call. Watch on the Burns Bulldogs YouTube channel as well as listening on WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM. And rounding things out tonight, Shelby at East Rutherford, Brent Pasco and Jeff Jones on the call on WLON 1050 AM, 107.5 FM on the show. You'll be able to watch it as well on the Shelby Golden Lions YouTube channel. And tomorrow night, starting at 7, Cherryville at Pine Lake Prep up in Mooresville, Milton Baker, Danny Aker on the call on WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM and KTCBroadcasting.com. And then tomorrow night, 10 o'clock until midnight, we'll wrap up everything from tonight and tomorrow night's action on the Ronaldo Auto Mall postgame show from 10 to 12. So we'll be back with our power poll. Terry will talk about some sort of streak. We'll be right back on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show only on KTC Broadcasting.
Getting ready for more rain. It looks like we are going to have a wet finish to the work week, all thanks to a cold front that arrives on Friday. Tonight we stay mainly dry, mostly cloudy skies. Low temperatures will be chilly in the mid to upper 40s. And then as we head into Friday, expect periods of rain on and off throughout the day. High temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s. And then Saturday, cloudy skies, a little bit of drizzle possible with highs in the low 60s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Stevie Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's 6:38, and the temperature is 53 degrees.
Kawan Pryor of Burns High School is this month's McDonald's KTC Broadcasting Student Athlete of the Month. Kawan is the son of Wesley Pryor and Nika Odoms. He plays slot receiver and running back for the Burns Bulldogs football team. He also plays baseball for the Bulldogs. Kawan has a 3.5 grade point average. His advanced courses include American History 1 and 2. Kawan is also a member of the Future Teachers of America Club and attends Ramseur Baptist Church. He also helps with the reading program with the local elementary students. After graduation, Kawan plans to attend a 4-year college. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize the student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievements in the classroom and for overall school and community citizenship.
For over 100 years, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home in Falston has been providing services to families of our community with care and compassion. And now the Stamey Funeral Home has added the Cremation Center along with a new name, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center. The Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center on Highway 182 in Falston, and the Stamey Funeral Home in Cherryville, located on Dixie Street in Cherryville, serving you with care and compassion in your time of need. Bill Shuford Heat and Air and American Standard presents the American Standard Set the Standard event, Now through November 30th, get up to $1,000 in discounts on qualifying American Standard equipment, or get 0% APR financing with 60 equal monthly payments, plus many more special Set the Standard event offers. See Bill Shuford Heating and Air for all the details. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby. Call 704-484-0025. Get a free pumpkin at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. What did I say? That's right. Get a free pumpkin October 22nd through October 31st when you take a test drive at Renato Auto Mall. Test drive a Honda, get a free pumpkin. Test drive a Kia, get a free pumpkin. Test drive a GMC, get a free pumpkin. Test drive a Buick, get a free pumpkin. Test drive a pre-owned vehicle and get a free pumpkin October 22nd through October 31st only at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com. And happy Halloween from Renato Auto Mall. There's something new at Flooring America on Slater Street in Kings Mountain. It's the Soft and Strong sale, where friends send friends. Right now, get 12 months special financing or get $100 off your purchase. Plus, get laminate flooring as low as $2.99 a square foot. And be sure to see the new Cortec waterproof flooring. Hardwoods, carpet, luxury vinyl, laminate, and tile. All on sale now at Flooring America, 602 Slater Street, Kings Mountain.
Hi, Daddy. Hi, Marge. Hey, what's that? Oh, that's our new Coyote tractor. John picked it up today. Isn't it beautiful? Well, yes, but it's going to help us get all those jobs done around here. That's great, but... And with Coyote, we get the industry's best warranty. Okay, looks great, works hard, the best warranty, but why? Why is a Coyote tractor in our living room, and why is John snuggled up next to it? He's in love.
Coyote, love your tractor.
Your Coyote dealer is West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail.
The moment.
It is in the air, and here we go.
You can hear replays of it tonight or tomorrow morning.
Angles to the right at the 15.
You can relive it in your mind over and over.
20 a stiff arm there.
The moment can last a lifetime.
Far sideline, he's into pit territory.
But the moment really only happens once.
25-20 takes it to the house.
Live in the moment right here on the Tar Heels Sports Network. Powered by Learfield.
For the first time in over 60 years this week, WLON Radio will not be broadcasting a local Lincoln County high school football game. Not by our choice, but by the choice of local school officials. We had planned to broadcast this week's North Lincoln game, but Lincoln and high school officials said they decided to let another non-radio entity, assisted by Lincoln and high school students, broadcast the game instead of WLON. We offered to do the same and allow the Lincoln and students to help with our broadcast, but we were rejected. We have had many interns come through our station over the years, and some of which we have hired. So instead of bringing you the North Lincoln game tonight, we'll be bringing you the Shelby East Rutherford game on WLON. To voice your concerns, you may contact the Lincoln County School Office at 704-732-2261 or Lincoln and High School at 704-735-3089. Stay tuned after the games tonight for all the scores. But more than anything, go out and support your local high school student athlete.
You hear them pads going click, 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 click. You hear them clicks going tap, tap, tap. 704 beats by Alex. Yeah. First and 10. We in the trenches. You like the water cooler. You be on the bench. Think your team better, but they lack skill.
Welcome back to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Carson Dockery, Terry Reinhardt, and Shannon Allen along with you, and we've wrapped up all our picks for Week 11. Terry,
well, I went back and I checked my picks for this year, and I hadn't seen one I missed yet.
Well, have you looked hard enough, Terry? What?
Oh, did I miss some?
I mean, did you?
I must have missed those then. I thought I was looking through mine, and it says correct. I don't know.
Well, Terry, you know, it all just, it's all perspective if you want to look at it.
When I saw Shannon's, I was like, yeah, you missed that one. Yeah, I mean.
I know one game I did get right. That was last Saturday. I'll just leave it right there.
Oh, Terry, yeah.
I think that was more my heart. That's what I'd say. My heart got ripped out real quick.
Terry, you're still wearing it though. Like, God bless you.
Well,
You still got the state hat on. You still got the state helmet on the microphone. You're committed.
It's funny though when people ask me about it, and that's we talk about State and Clemson. But I watched the first quarter. After the first quarter, I got up, went outside, turned the radio on, started working out in the yard. Said I'm just going to listen to the rest of it.
Yeah. I didn't even listen to it or watch it. I was at a Gardner Webb soccer game with my son.
Look at that.
That was pretty cool.
Running Bulldogs. All right, let's jump into the What's Up Shopper Power Poll. Top 20 teams in our area. We'll start in the bottom with 20 through 16. Coming in at number 20, the Cherryville Ironmen. In at number 19, the Trojans of the Community School of Davidson. At number 18, the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets. Number 17, the Burns Bulldogs. And in at number 16, the Newton Conover Red Devils. Terry, obviously, you know, you've got three 1A schools, a 3A, and a 2A. Which one are you picking out of this as the most interesting team, Terry?
I'm gonna take Cherryville Ironman.
I think you're right.
20. I'm gonna pick old Coach Pruitt now. Turned a decent season into a good one for Cherryville. I mean, you know, it's bad when you're at some schools, and don't get me wrong, Cherryville plays, I mean, for them, a stout schedule. A lot of people say, well, Shelby plays that. Well, you can't put Shelby playing you can't put Cherryville playing who Shelby plays. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you cannot do that. You have to put teams as to your demeanor to play every year and giving you an opportunity to win. I can go out here and I can schedule teams out of South Carolina and the best teams in North Carolina and be 0-5 or 0-6 before I ever start league play.
And you really wouldn't know anything about yourself.
That's exactly right. Yeah. You know, so I'm going to give it to Coach Pruitt now. I think he's doing a great job over there. Cherryville Ironman.
Shannon, who's your most interesting team?
Right now, it's Burns. Because of where they are in their season, these last 2 weeks, and got to win one of them, at least one, but you hopefully can win two. So, I think with Pryor off, and again, I mentioned that a while ago, they don't have anybody. They're not losing any seniors at start, and I don't think they may not lose any on the team. But they're building for next year, but they're also now, hey, we may be going to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
After the struggles we've had, and so I'm looking to see what Burns is going to do these next 2 weeks.
Cherryville the last 2 weeks, they've got tonight at Pine Lake Prep, and then next week they'll host Bessemer City. Burns, they are at Crest and then at North Gaston to round things out. So now we'll turn to 15 through 11. In at number 15, the East Lincoln Mustangs. In at number 14, the Forest View Jaguars. Number 13, the Mountain Island Charter Raptors. In at number 12, the Ashbrook Green Wave. And in at number 11, the Maiden Blue Devils. And Shannon, I want you this time, the most interesting team, 11 through 15.
I am going to do something out of character and say Maiden.
Ooh.
Because
I thought you weren't a Maiden.
I thought you hated Maiden.
Well, I wasn't
such
gonna
a strong word.
Oh, okay. I'm just. I didn't
loathe
know.
them. No, I'm just kidding. Maiden, no. Where they started at the beginning of the year, everybody said Maiden's the team to beat, and even though I wouldn't say that, I knew it. I'm like, yeah, they're the team to beat, but they've struggled, you know,
they have.
and they've went through some things here. Now, how are we going to bounce back? Do we
still 6-3? Not a bad
not
record.
Bad. No, that's not bad at all. But how are we going to move forward going to these last 2 weeks and then advancing in the playoffs? What do we need to do to get better? And so Maiden right now, that's the most interesting team for me.
You know, and you're speaking of Maiden, I'll give them a credit. Last week with the win, made 56 out of 66 years with 6 wins or more.
Wow.
You know, for the history of their football. And to me, that's an astonishing mark. But anyway, my team over here, and I was going to say Mountain Island Charter, but I picked Thomas Jefferson a minute ago.
That's why
that can still be interesting.
Yeah,
it can still be interesting to lose.
Could. I'm gonna go with Maiden also, and there's very few times that me and Shannon picked the same team. But last week was a game that they fell behind 10-0. Everybody says, "My Lord, Maiden, buddy, they have really fallen off the road here." But they come back and they score 10, then win it with a field goal at the very end to win 13-10. We don't know what that does for a team, you know, especially after they lost 2 games before. Sometimes it only takes a game in high school to get all the kids back to where they should be. So I'm going to pick Maiden also.
All right, we'll move into the top 10 now. We'll go 10 through 6. Coming in at number 10, Stuart Kramer Storm. In at number 9, the North Lincoln Knights. In at number 8 at 9-0, the Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy Griffins. In at number 7, the Shelby Golden Lions. And at number 6, at 8-1, the East Rutherford Cavaliers. Terry, one more time, 6 through 10, who's the most interesting team out of that group?
You know, you could take this, and I love it when we get to our top 10 because they're all having good years.
Yeah.
They've done, every one of them has done something
most
to
losses
plus.
in the top 10 is 2.
Yeah.
Or 3, excuse me, with Shelby.
But I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna take North Lincoln. After a tough loss to start the year to Thomas Jefferson, what a difference Coach Basil has done down there. I mean, how many people would have ever sit back and say, hey, North Lincoln's unbeaten next to the last game of the year, and they're leading the South Fork Conference when everybody picked Maiden, East Lincoln, and Lincoln to be above them. You know, I mean, they were picked in a tie for fifth place in the conference. But, I mean, it might have been 6. A tie of 6th place, I think it was. But anyway.
It was at the bottom.
Yeah, they was towards the bottom, next to Lake Norman Charter from being on the bottom. But, again, I'm going to go North Lincoln.
I'm gonna choose Thomas Jefferson here because, I picked Mountain Island Charter to beat them tonight. But to me, as we said it before, if this is the team that's going to go further in the 1A playoffs, would be Mountain Island Charter. But if Thomas Jefferson can beat them tonight and beat them, maybe not soundly, but beat them by a couple scores, exactly.
I took Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, okay.
Making sure we know that.
Anyway, I'm going to talk about Shelby now. No, Thomas Jefferson, if they can go to Mountain, especially going there, and as good as Mountain Island Charter is, if they can go down there and stop Burris and then pretty much walk away with the game, that to me signifies them. That puts them, that says, hey, we're a team to be reckoned with now. So it's an interesting team to be Thomas Jefferson.
All right, we'll move into the elite. The top 5 coming in at number 5 at 7-2, the South Point Red Raiders. In at number 4 at 8-1, the Bandy's Trojans. The number 3 ranked team on our power poll is the Crest Chargers at 7-2. Coming in at number 2, also at 7-2, the Kings Mountain Mountaineers. And in at number 1 and still undefeated, 9-0, the Hunter Huss Huskies. One more time, Shannon, 5-1. Who's your most interesting team?
Lord mercy. Again, I'm going to say South Point, and because they're leading this Southwestern Conference. They're undefeated in the conference. The game Shelby and East Rutherford tonight, as far as conference championship goes, it don't really matter. Okay, I shouldn't say it like that. If Shelby loses if East Rutherford loses, they're out of the hunt for it. But that game next week against Shelby, if Shelby can beat South Point, they're playing South Point at home. If they can beat them, then that puts at least a 2-way tie. If Shelby loses tonight, but then bounces back next week, that's a 3-way tie. But South Point, how are they going to play Chase this week and to get pumped up for Shelby next week? And that to me, that's going to be an interesting matchup. But South Point, again, we haven't talked about them all year.
Yeah.
Usually that's a team, they're number 1.
We never shut up about them.
That's it.
We never really said much about them. I know the quarterback went down against Crest. The Crest game began the year. But
I think Ray Greer got hurt a little bit this year too.
I think maybe got suspended for a couple games. But he's back. They're healthy. Now let's just see. Now they're going to see how far they can go. So South Point, now you're getting into the teams that are going to matter. Now you're going to have to play. If you got to play Shelby next week. Can you beat them? Can you advance all? So we're getting ready for playoffs. So South Point.
And I'm going to take Hunter Huss. I'm going to take Carson, your boys from the down in Gastonia land.
South Gastonia.
That's right. That's right, boy.
Only giving up 72 points all year. They can match that up with High Brighton and say we're just as good on defense as y'all are, But I just think they do it. I mean, people say, okay, they got over their tough road test against the people before. But here they are against a Stuart Kramer, a decent squad that if they don't play can knock them off. But they have something to play for. If you win tonight, you tie the 1976 squad. If you next week when you go battle for that bell, if you win tonight, then you can set a record.
First 11-0 team.
Yes, at Hunter Huss. And this team, I think, is thinking beyond just making a playoff. They're thinking about we can win the 2A state. High Brighton might be in the way, and we
3A.
3A. But
High Brighton's not in the way.
Yeah, you're right. But
you got Charlotte Catholic, Charlotte Christian. Yeah.
Well, there's Charlotte Catholic. It's a different story there. But I think they can play with any of those teams from down there. We've even had people from South Carolina said they could. So I'm going to take Hunter Huss.
All right, so that wraps up our power poll. Terry, I know you like to talk about streaks. Terry's going streaking. That's the new name of the segment. That's it. Terry's going streaking. Terry, who's streaking this week?
All I got to say this week is Lamar, Missouri went down last week.
Ooh.
The number 1 team holding the all-time record fell. The number 1 team now is Damascus, Maryland, with 50 wins. So we've lowered that all the way down now. It's only 50. Team out of Minnesota, Caledonia, is 49. Royal out of Washington State has got 48. Wake Forest is coming in at number 6 now with 38 wins. So in North Carolina, Wake Forest leads the way with 38, High Brighton 25, Tarboro 23, and Charlotte Christian with 18. And we match ours up, and I said, well, I'm going to do a little bit more survey. So I went into South Carolina. Dillon, South Carolina, has 22 wins. Hammond has 21, and coming in at number 3 down there, and we knew it eventually happened, Dutch Fork, Silver Foxes with 19 with Tommy Knox.
They don't play nobody.
All right, before we get out of here, I want to talk about middle school football real quick. Southwest won the Gaston County Middle School Championship. They went undefeated, shut out Belmont 34-0 in the Gaston County Conference Championship. So if you're a fan of Hunter Huss, Forest View, maybe even some kids might end up at Highland Tech, you've got a bright future coming. And Shannon, I know you mentioned the previous middle school score. Who's lining up for the championship next week?
That'd be Burns Middle against Kings Mountain Middle.
And that's a good game, even in high school. I mean, you've got 2 teams that, like as you mentioned earlier, they stay in that system. Kings Mountain already looking good. I mean, Burns has pieces, and now if they can just add a little bit more to it, I mean, you've got Cleveland County football is already pretty stout, but then when you've got feeder programs like that are feeding into already good teams, can't ask for a lot more out of that one. Terry, you got anything else?
Well, I got one more thing. Went over last week. I went over teams who were trying to win their first conference championship of all time, and we went over a few of them. This week I'm going to go over the teams that are in it and have an opportunity. Like tonight we got Freedom at Watauga. Freedom's won a conference championship 10 times, going for number 11. Last one they won was way back in 2015. Watauga has won 5 conference championships, going for win number 6. Last win for them was in 2007. When we go to the Southwestern Athletic 2A Conference, Shelby has 24. They're looking for number 25, last one, 2016. South Point's got 21. They're looking for 22. Last win last year, 2017. East Rutherford has 5. They're looking for number 6. Their last conference championship, 2005. If you go to the Southern Piedmont 1A Conference, Thomas Jefferson has 3. Looking for 4, 2017. Bessemer City was the same way. They got 5, looking for 6. Tied for that conference championship last year with Thomas Jefferson. In the South Fork Athletic 2A Conference, North Lincoln has 0. We went over that last week. Looking for number 1. Could it be this year? We do not know. Our Bandies has got 6. Looking for number 7. Last conference championship for them was in 2009. In the Northwestern Foothills 2A Conference, the only person they even listed was High Brighton. They got 7. They're looking for 8. They won last year, 2017. And in the Big South 3A Conference, Hunter Huss has 8, looking for number 9. 2016 was their last one. Crest has got 18, looking for 19. 2015, and Kings Mountain's got 6, looking for 7, and it was last year in 2017.
All right, well, we got one more correction. The Ronaldo Automall postgame show will be tonight, 10 o'clock to midnight, as Kevin and the guys will wrap things up from right here in the bustling metropolis that is Cherryville. So for myself, Carson Dockery, Shannon Allen, and Terry Reinhardt, we'll see you next week. Witherspoon Insurance Pregame.
Fastest thing on 2 feet. He's just as proud as he can be. His anatomy, he gon' give us a peek.
You hear them clicks going. 704 beats by Alex. Yeah. First and 10. We in the trenches. You like the water cooler. You be on the benches. Think your team better, but they lack skill. First snap, I lay your backs in the backfield. Your quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Sent the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up. Clog a hole, no letting up. Taking on no big blocks. On 4th down, we get big stops. My secondary is balling out. Your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Call the special teams, come punt the ball, and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Lear jet.
Buy more, save more at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. Come in now and save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages, refrigerators, dishwashers, ranges, and microwave ovens. Let Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center put a package together for you. Again, save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages. Buy more, save more at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 3 on Saturday.
Since 1977, Shelby Heating and Air has been serving this area with the finest in Carrier heating and air conditioning products. Turn to the experts. Turn to Carrier and Shelby Heating and Air. Plus, they service all brands and are all accredited A+. Visit their website at shelbyheating.com or just call 704-487-7877 for Shelby Heating and Air. Voted the best heating and air conditioning in Cleveland County and a member of the Better Business Bureau.
There's nothing spooky about the Monster Clearance Event at your local Sears hometown store with America's appliance experts at 1665 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Now through Wednesday, October 31st, take an extra 10% off all clearance closeouts, recondition, and one-of-a-kind merchandise. Save over $830 on a black stainless French door refrigerator with dual ice. Plus, see your store for other great closeout deals. Now through Wednesday, October 31st at your local Sears hometown store in Shelby. Exclusions apply. See store for details. The Ram Power Day sales event is underway at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Shelby. Come on in now and get 0% APR financing for 36 months plus $750 bonus cash or up to $9,159 in total value on select new 2018 Ram 3500 limited models. All during Ram Power Days. Going on now at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby.
Traveling for a ball game? The Hampton Inn in Gastonia has more for your travels. Book the Ultimate Escape Package and enjoy $10 in snack shop credit, hot breakfast, premium Wi-Fi, and late checkout. At the Gastonia Hampton Inn, you can enjoy cable programming and video game consoles are also provided. Plus a pool, a fitness center, dry cleaning service, and more. With 107 air-conditioned guest rooms, the Hampton Inn, 1859 Remount Road in Gastonia. Book your room by calling 704-866-9090. Offices open 24 hours a day.
People are talking about The Boss.
I listen to you every day. Love it. I listen to it at home. I listen to it in my car.
The Boss, 101.5 FM, 1390 AM, WOHS, Shelby.
2 minutes after 7 o'clock, time now for our, Friday night football game of the week on Thursday night. And tonight's the Crest Chargers taking on the Burns Bulldogs. Coming up next, right here on The Boss, WOHS.
If you're not bundling your insurance with Allstate, you might have fear of missing out, or FOMO.
You're too old to say FOMO.
But people who don't bundle their auto and home with Allstate...
No, FOMO's about fun stuff, not insurance.
But what if people use the money they save to pay for that fun stuff?
Okay, fine.
Your local Allstate agent is Damon Scott. Give him a call at 704-484-3463.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Attention.
Camera there for you. We'll have audio and video tonight on YouTube. Glad you're listening. It's Tom Sinafani and Matt Royster from Sid Bryson Stadium for this Big South Conference matchup between the visiting Burns Bulldogs and the homestanding Crest Chargers. And last week, rough night for the Bulldogs. They lost 63-21. A lot of things that they'd like to forget. 9 straight touchdown drives for the Mountaineers. I mean, I can't remember that ever happening in my years of watching football. We gave up over 500 yards on defense. Bright spot was Pryor, who was over 200 yards again. Third straight week he's been over 200 yards.
234 to be exact.
234. Pryor for the year, 136 carries, 1,512 yards, 20 touchdowns. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
In the past 3 games, I think he's ran for probably about 800. So just past 3 games alone. So.
Yeah. So he's he's carrying the load. Somebody else needs to help him out a little bit. If I look for the rushing last week, he had 234. Next on the list was Dante Jones with 5 carries, 14 yards. Now we know that Jones has been able to carry it a long way. He's got 2 touchdowns for over 90 yards on the year. So hopefully he or you know, C.J. Hopper, I never thought I'd see, you know, just low carries and low yardage. So I'm wanting to see C.J. maybe get more involved, get a few more carries, so they can take that load off Pryor. You know, he's playing defense too, so, but he's definitely carrying the load tonight. Some of you may be wondering about Cameron Sweezy. Cameron Sweezy is going to be a no-go tonight. MRI on his knee coming up, just precautionary. He was out there throwing the ball a little bit. Doesn't look to be a serious injury, but definitely the health of the young man is more important than one ball game, so he's getting checked out to make sure he's okay. Hopefully we'll get him back next week against North Gaston. So that means